Alrighty everyone, well, game number 2 in this best of 7 series finds us on Kairos Junction LE. Spawning here in the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is SpeCial. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up and wants to keep the series rolling in his favor. His name is Serral. So guys and girls, this game and series in particular was played at the WCS spring event and was the grand finals of that tournament. And so game number 1 was a long, drawn-out, macro-focused game between these two, in which Serral was able to take a couple of engagements and really turn a bad situation into a positive one, because SpeCial played a very interesting first game where he went for a very quick, moving into a really quick build off of battle cruisers, throwing Serral off guard. And then from there, it just ended up that Serral, once he found out about the battle cruisers, he was able to kind of adjust. Wasn't really, you know, he just knew that all he had to do was kind of just take his time, and that's exactly what he does. He does an incredible job at that, and basically just slowly but surely overwhelmed SpeCial over the course of the game. So I'll be interested to see how does SpeCial respond to this. I think that is a massive question here as this game, you know, kind of goes on, is how is SpeCial going to respond where you're down a game against the best player on the planet in a massive game, which, you know, when you think about it, you do not want to go down 2-0 against the best player on the planet. You definitely want to get back into this game, into this series. You want to tie this thing up immediately. So let's see what both players are deciding to do here in the early stages. It looks like SpeCial's going to go for that natural, or I should say that natural expansion, but that is followed by a barracks. And then following that natural expansion, we are going to see the factory. Whereas on the opposite side of the map, we are going to see the hatch gas pool standard opener by Serral. He's going to go for that metabolic boost upgrade. And, you know, of course, is the Zergling speed upgrade. And he's got a Reaper across the map. That is SpeCial, who is going to try to be a little bit of a nuisance. Serral is very good with his micro, though, so I don't anticipate him losing really any of these Zerglings. Queen is out onto the playing field. Looks like that Queen, could very well, maybe. No, it does not look like he is going to be able to get that. That Reaper. But nonetheless, we are going to see the follow-up here is going to be a starport out of SpeCial. So SpeCial is going to get that starport created. He's going to go for the double Hellion production off that reactor with the factory. So both players, you know, early stages here, nothing too out of the ordinary as of yet. So we'll have to kind of keep tabs on, you know, what both players are deciding to do, you know, as this game kind of progresses. Serral's going for that third hatchery now. Metabolic boost upgrade did finish up. So I gotta say, I really love, you know, what Serral, once again, he's just going to go into his standard, you know, build, not doing anything out of, you know, not doing anything super aggressive. He's now going to go for his lair so he can get those higher tier lair based units. We are going to be seeing Stimpack research out of SpeCial, and we're going to see the Liberator production out of that starport. So a few of these units now are going to start, you know, just trying to get some scouting information. I think that's the most important thing, at least for the time being for SpeCial, is to just really figure out what is Serral doing at all times of the game. You know, that's extremely important when you think about it. You want to know exactly what's going on at all times when you're playing against Serral. And Serral, though, at the same time is very similar in that respect. You know, he's very much so he's essentially just the very similar, as far as wanting to always see what his opponent's doing. He's going to be following this up. He's getting a Baneling nest, and so he's going to be able to start getting those, you know, those Banelings. I'm assuming he's probably going to go for possibly roaches here as well very shortly. But really, for the time being, it seems that Serral wants to just get fully saturated on 3 bases, which is, generally speaking, what he does so well. He just wants to macro up a really nice economy, like that booming economy, and then from there he can end up just overwhelming his opponent with just having a substantial amount of army units. Looks like centrifugal hooks is going to be researched for the banelings, which of course is the roly-poly upgrade. We are going to see a handful of Hellions that are just trying to kind of poke in and see exactly what kind of information they can get. Maybe see if they can catch a couple of Zerglings off guard. Try to fry some Zerglings would be something that I think SpeCial would absolutely love to do at this point, to just try to get at least a little bit of an edge, because Serral has not been giving much of an edge whatsoever to SpeCial. He is not allowing much of anything for, you know, just not giving him really any angles. You are going to see some of those Marines as well as some siege tanks are going to be out. We're going to see that 3rd command center is coming in as well. So both players are playing, once again, a standard macro focus game, it looks like, guys. We're passing that 6-minute mark, and it really does look like both players are, at least at this point, they are kind of, you know, just giving each other that respect that they so rightfully deserve, at least right now. So it does look like more and more Zerglings are going to be coming out for Serral. So I'm wondering if he's going to try to go in for a little bit of a push so he can try to start possibly dictating the pace of this game, as we see those Hellbats are now going to be out for SpeCial. So Hellbats, a couple of siege tanks, and some Marines, but there are a lot of Zerglings moving up towards that third command center. There is just a lot of Zerglings up there, and that's exactly what Serral wants to do, is to create issues for his opponent. But that said, Serral smartly is gonna move away with those Zerglings. Does not look like he wants to engage, at least at this point. Looks like another base is going down, though, for Serral, which is going to be his 4th hatchery. And he's basically, you know, he's specifically on those Ling Bane composition on his side of the map so far. Now, we are going to see the Infestation Pit coming in, as well as the Roach Horn. So it looks like we're going to see Roaches, most light. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, we are going to see. Okay, so I must have missed it. Yeah, so the Roach Horn's over here. For some reason I thought he canceled the Roach Horn. I was like, wait a second. So he is good in that Roach Horn, but maybe it was the Infestation Pit that he canceled. Was it the Infestation Pit? It possibly was that Infestation. Or no, it wasn't the Infestation Pit. I don't know what it was. That's very strange. But either way, it doesn't matter. We are moving onward, though, as we are going to see a 5th hatchery coming in now for Serral. So Serral is feeling very, very confident. We're going to see vehicle weapons level 1 as well as vehicle plating level 1 finishing up in less than 5 seconds for SpeCial. And now, you know, Serral's getting his +1 upgrades. We're also seeing Nematized Carapace being researched, Glowry Constitution, as well as melee attacks level 1 and ground Carapace level 1 for Serral. So both these players, they are going to start really trying to go at it here. It looks like there is a lot of units. The Banelings, oh my god! The Baneling hits are absolutely devastating to that army. Beautiful play there by Serral. Oh god, what a devastating blow there. The Banelings absolutely completely surrounded and just devastated that army of SpeCial there. Now, he's obviously not out of this thing just yet, but that was a really big deal there, that those Banelings came in and just essentially destroyed the entirety of that army in a matter of seconds. Absolutely beautiful play there by Serral. Serral doing Serral-like things. You just never want to give him even an opportunity to surround your army or anything of those like. So it does look like Serral is going to be ahead of that supply, not by a drastic margin, but the difference here is, and something we're going to have to keep an eye on as Glowry Constitution finishes up, is these Banelings and Zerglings over in this left-hand side of the map. Looks like a Bane bust is possible, possibly what our Zerg players plan on doing. Looks like he's going right after, but there are going to be a lot of, there's going to be some, you know, siege tanks there, and it does look like Serral is trying to kind of create more problems for SpeCial here as those battles are going to try to come down. They do miss, but you just got to be very careful when you're going up against someone like Serral. I mean, it is not something that you want to deal with. You got to be the one putting on the aggression on Serral. You cannot allow him to dictate the pace of the game. Zerglings look like they are going to start running back home, but man, there is just, I mean, this creep spread is starting to get out of hand once again as well, and that's something that we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on, because Serral is starting to really try to take over the map, or at least his side of the map, I should say. Certainly taking over his side of the map. He's got a lot of, you know, a lot of units that are moving across all over the place. Does look like SpeCial, though, is certainly not out of this thing just yet, but I do think he needs to make a move here relatively soon. He is getting that engineering bay, so it looks like he's going to continue getting his upgrades, trying to stay ahead of that upgrade count. We are going to see those +2/+2 upgrades that are going to be coming in as well. But here is the fight that is happening. We are going to see, of course, swarm hosts are going to be out onto the playing field as well. They're going to go right after a lot of those siege tanks. Not a lot of damage being dealt there, but enough it felt like. But it does look like SpeCial actually was able to kind of hold on there. It looks like he is going to go ahead and try to get this creep spread to chill out, because Serral is doing a phenomenal job of spreading that creep spread all over the place. The swarm host switch has worked out the first time for Serral, and I wonder if it's going to work out a second time, as he is going into those the hive. He is going to start morphing in that hive to get the higher tier hive based units. He's also getting burrow. He's researching burrow as well as the spire. So very interesting play here. We are going to see those locusts are going to try to target fire down that orbital command. Are not going to be successful, at least for the time being. But it does look like Serral is still continuing to try to do as much damage as possible. He is taking out a lot of those SCVs. Oh my god! The amount of damage that's being dealt here, as the fight is also happening near the middle of the map. Oh, those liberation zones are coming in, but man, Serral is doing so much damage right now with all those SCVs and such. I mean, he's got little groups of Zerglings running around. He's got those the swarm host. I mean, it is just becoming an issue right now for SpeCial to have to deal with. He is trying to get back in this game. I think he's being forced into a situation where he has to push in. He has got to do it. But the Locusts, once again, are going to be coming in. They're going to try to do as much damage as possible. It does look like the Queens as well as the Ravagers are doing a lot of damage here. Is it going to be enough? The Transfuses are coming in. Those Liberators are trying to do a little bit of damage. Oh, it's so back and forth right now. There might be just enough here for Serral to push this army back, at least for the time being, as once again the Locusts are going in, taking out more and more SCVs. Oh man, this is absolutely painful to watch. Those Locusts doing so much damage, making an absolute SCV graveyard right now over at that third base location. Wow. Serral is making some, just showing, kind of putting that skill on full display right now as to why he's the best player on the planet right now. Just absolutely playing his opponent like a book. Doing an incredible job. I mean, we all know this. SpeCial, though, I mean, this is a guy who certainly has you know, he's been doing actually a pretty decent job so far, but there's just been a couple of moments where Serral has just completely you know, kind of dictated the entire pace of the game, and it's just created so many problems for SpeCial. I just think that SpeCial is being forced into a situation where he has to attack instead of just macroing up a bigger and bigger force, because, I mean, Serral just has so many units all over the place, and any moment, even like this one, where there's a couple of Hellions over at what is now the 5th base location, it seems like he's got the defenses up. He's got those spine crawlers. He's covering his bases, and now we've got a lot of these swarm host Locusts are going to start trying to take out a lot of these units here. That does not look to be very successful whatsoever, but it's keeping, what it's doing is what Serral's doing with the Swarm Host as well as with some of these other units, he's keeping his opponent at bay, which essentially means that he is essentially making SpeCial play more defense than offense, and that's what he wants to do. Now, here we go. Once again, Serral is in a pretty good position, but those liberation zones are going to be absolutely massive. Nice biles on both of those liberators. Absolutely brilliant there for Serral. But the question is who's going to come up on top here, as it looks like more and more units are for SpeCial are trying to attack that main base location at the same time, trying to hit it in a couple of places at once. Here we go. Once again, more of those battles coming down, but it does look like SpeCial is actually making his way over towards this fourth base location. Looks like Serral does give up that fourth base, at least at this point, but the Brood Lords are now out. And this is where it could get very scary for the ground-based units. We've got a lot of queens out on the playing field as well. The Brood Lords are out. That fourth base is being, retaken at this point. Oh, but the Brood Lords could be the tail of the tape here. We are going to see a lot of these locusts, or I'm sorry, these swarm hosts are just being completely caught off guard. Oh man, this is painful to watch as all these swarm hosts are just being left to die, as the real army, though, is over near this fifth base location. Here we go. More and more of these units are starting to attack, and it looks like SpeCial is actually trying to get this game back in his favor, playing absolutely really well right now. Serral is caught a little bit off guard here, as a lot of these bases are just going down for practically free. Oh, wow. SpeCial is actually working his way back into this game. Now, it does look like all of these Brood Lords are here now. We are going to start seeing the Corruptors are being added as well. So we got Corruptors as well as the Brood Lords. The Queens are coming in as well. And it looks like there's just multiple things happening all over the map. Who is going to come out on top right now, as it does look like the fight is happening in two areas at once. Planetary Fortress does go down for SpeCial, from Serral, and it does look like, oh, these Corruptors are just taking out so many of these air units. Now, it does look like the Thors are out, but man, so much damage is being dealt. SpeCial's supply is plummeting right now, as these Brood Lords are just starting to create significant problems. And like I said, I felt that the Brood Lords were going to be the tail of the tape in this one, because man, they are now at the front doorstep. GG is called, and after 17.5 minutes, SpeCial is forced to GG out, and Serral takes a commanding 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and SpeCial, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 3.